All right, I'm going to go over just the basics of how to do a few tools and that will help you with your Winter Wonderland assignment and learning Photoshop or Illustrator in general. So for Winter Wonderland, I would set it to landscape. It'll make your file kind of fit easier. And then you could go ahead and title this, but I'll just leave it blank for now. Okay, so shape builder, this is one of the things that you need to do. So if you come to the shape tool and choose the star tool, and then I'll go ahead and fill this in with a green just so I can see it. And then you click and you drag, and here's your star. On the directions on your keyboard, up makes you add points, down decreases points until you get to a triangle. So if you're making a tree, and like if I hold down the space bar, I can move this around, shrink it, turn it, let go. Okay, so make my Christmas tree. Let go, and I'll do one more. Okay. So now in order to use the shape builder, you have to hold down Shift and select everything you want to be built with the shape. So for me, it will be these 3 triangles. And my computer's a little laggy, so we'll see how it works. Okay, shape builder is this one right here. If you hover over it long enough, it'll even say shape builder. But it has this circle, 2 circles, and a directional arrow on it. So once you select that tool, everything that you have shift clicked that you selected gets this kind of gray grid over it. So what you'll do is you'll click and you'll hold and you'll drag through so each part of the tree is in this grid. And then you let go. And ta-da! It is now one shape. Okay, so that is one part of the tool, or one tool I should say. Another thing that you're going to do is you're going to create a pattern. So there's a couple different ways you could do this. You can do it with paintbrushes, you can do it with shapes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to make a pattern with snow, but first I want to choose the rectangle tool and give myself like a sky gradient. Whoops, you got to make sure you don't have anything selected when you change your fills, otherwise it changes that. So let's say this is going to be my sky. I'll just do this gradient with it for now. Remember, in your gradients you can change the direction. So I'll say 90 degrees or -90 if I want it to go the other way. And then I'll right click arrange and send to back. Okay, so now let's say I want to do snow and I want to make a pattern out of that snow. So I'll take my paintbrush and then I have these different brushes. If I come here and I go to, there's a couple here. I'm going to try the artistic and I'll try ink and see what comes up with that one. Yeah, I'm liking this. Okay, so we've got these kind of ones that almost are going to look snowish. The reason it's applying to everything is because I've got my background still selected. So I drew this little squiggly line and let's apply. Okay, I like that. And I'm going to switch it from black to white so it'll look like snow. And then I'll go ahead and I'm actually going to draw a couple of them in order to kind of create a pattern. So there we go. Now I'm going to hold down Shift so that I make sure to select each line. It's a little tricky sometimes, so you got to find that little blue where it says path. It'll highlight when you move over it with your mouse. The main reason why mine isn't doing it quite so well is because of lag. Another thing you can do, if you're having lag issues like me, is I can do a click and a drag. And when you click and drag over it, it selects everything. Now one thing it did select is it selected this sky behind me, which is not what I want. So I'm just going to hold down Shift and click on the sky so that it deselects the sky. And now I can see that the only thing that's selected are all these little spatter marks that I created. So then I'll go up to Object, Pattern, Make, say OK. And it's kind of impossible for me to see what it's going to look like because it's white on white. So I'm just going to trust it'll work and I'm going to say Done. Now what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to take this rectangle and I'm going to, well actually first what I need to do is I'm going to get rid of my extra lines in my sky. Just delete those so they're out of the way. Okay, now I'll take this rectangle tool and I'm going to draw this second rectangle over everything. And with it selected, I will set it to this new pattern I created. And there you go. Now I've created this pattern of snow. And if I didn't like it, I could come and I could make a new one, make some changes, do a second rectangle across this. But I like it, so. You're going to need to use this shape builder to do a snowman, and you're going to want to use like the pen tool in order to, well, actually for the snow you could use a paintbrush, but you know, you're going to make the snowy ground and things like that. Last thing that you need to know how to do is to do the blend tool to make a border. Now you can do shapes with this, you can do symbols, whatever you like. So I have to say I really like to go to the Open Symbol Library and go to nature because I like the fact that nature has these little snowflakes. You do not have to do it with snowflakes though, it works with any shape. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out and pull this first one out, put it in the corner and maybe resize it so it's a little smaller. Okay, Control C, Control V, so that I'm getting one in the same size, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the corner. Remember that this black line is what's going to show in the end. And then Control V again, put this one in a corner, Control V one more time, and put this one in the corner. Now I'm going to take the second snowflake and drag it out, and I could leave it the size it is. I'll try that. So put it there, Control C, Control V, whoops, wrong one. Control C, Control V. Okay, so I'll put this kind of in between these two. Control V to get another copy, put it over here. Line, I can use my green lines to line it up. And I'm going to need one more down here. Okay, now I take the blend tool, which is this one right here, and I'm going to click once, twice, go to the next one, go to the next one, next one, just click along on the outside, each shape, don't skip one. And ta-da, I've got this nice border. Remember, if you double click on the blend tool, this one is set to smooth color, specified steps, and if I set preview to 4, it means there's going to be little 4 stars in between each. Or I could set it to a specific distance and say that I want it to be, well, there you go, and there's 4 points, and that's not bad, but I like it individual. So I'm going to say 100 points between each. And I like that. Actually, I think if I did 75, I might like it even more. Let's see. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And there we go. So last thing I want to make sure to do is when you do File, Export, make sure you check this thing that says, well, switch to JPEG, and then check Use Artboards. And that means that only what's inside of this black line is going to show. So nothing on the outside will be there. And then you go ahead and you save it. I'm going to cancel because I've already got a version. So you can see my example here. You can use the pen tool to do this. You can use, I used squares and then the direct selection tool to kind of widen this out. So this is the end result basically of what it's going to look like. So good luck and have fun, be creative.